Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ellie. If you're new here, hi and welcome. So I thought I would just do a quick little story time for anyone that's ever, oh god, why is it always neighbours whenever I start to film? You're meant to be inside. I love that neighbour as well. Was the one that accused me of crashing into her car when I live nowhere near her and I didn't crash into her car. As I was saying, this story time is just for anyone that's ever been curious, because surprisingly, I don't know why I didn't think this would be a question, but one of the main questions I get asked about me being ill when I had my cancer was, how did you know you had it? Like, how did you end up going to the hospital? How did you end up knowing you've got it? That, I'd honestly say that is probably, apart from why haven't you lost your hair, that is the most asked question. I get asked it on Instagram and in real life as well. It's the main question I get asked. So I just thought I'd film a quick little story time while we are all stuck in a lockdown, because what else is there to do? So yeah, I'm just going to jump straight into it and I'm going to try not to ramble on too much. So yeah, let's go back to the beginning. It started off, I can't remember exactly what month, but I need to recall my own memory now. Yeah, so it started off at the start of last year and I was really ill. So I was being sick, I couldn't eat. The main two things were I was bleeding, not just like a period, I was bleeding to the point where it was just, I couldn't get off the toilet. I know it's really horrible and disgusting, but this is how I knew, so yeah. The two main things were I was bleeding so heavy for about 2 months straight. Obviously at first I just thought, oh, I don't know, my period or something, but it went on for 2 months of straight heavy bleeding, and if you've ever lost blood, you know what that does to your body and how weak it makes you. And also I was being sick, I couldn't eat, I couldn't even drink water, literally I couldn't do anything. I was just being sick and bleeding so much and I had no energy, but obviously that was now looking back because of the blood loss. So for 2 months I was just ignoring it, like, oh, it'll be fine, it'll all blow over, it will go away. And I was at work and they kept saying to me, like, this isn't right, this isn't normal. Every single person at work was like, you need to go and see a doctor or go to the hospital, like, this isn't normal. And I was like, no, it's fine, it'll blow over, like, it's fine, don't worry about it. And can we just say, I hope anyone watching this, I think people ask me this because they are scared that, what if they have it and they don't know? Obviously it's a really scary thing because it could go undetected, so I think that's why people ask. But can I just say, learn from my mistakes from this video and trust your body, trust what people are saying around you, and go and get checked. Do not please ignore it like I did, because I think that's why it got so bad, and why it went on for so long, because I didn't sort it at the beginning. So yeah, please do not, do learn off me and go and get checked. So yeah, anyway, rewinding back. So yeah, I remember I was at work, blah blah, and I was ignoring it. I couldn't work, to be honest. I spent most of my time in the staff room because I just physically couldn't physically do my job. I just couldn't even stand up, and obviously in my job you quite stand all day. So I was in the staff room or in the toilet. I remember just being sat on the toilet floor at work, just crying, but I was too weak to even cry, so I wasn't really crying. I was too weak to even cry. I was sat with my hands in my head, just constantly heaving because I couldn't eat. There was nothing to be sick up, so I was just sat heaving, crying, and I was just sat on the toilet, on the floor in the toilet at work, and someone walked in and they were just like, what is going on here? Like, you are not okay. Anyway, I still just kept ignoring it. So then I'd say, like I say, for about 2 months later, I was at work and I was walking round, and this is horrible, I know it is, but this is how it happened. I wiped my leg, as in down by my knee, and my whole hand was just a blood, like, I don't even know. Like, I'd stuck my hand in a tub of red paint. I know, disgusting, I know. But that's how it was. I wiped my leg and I was just like, oh my God, how much blood am I losing? Obviously, I ran quickly to the toilet and it was like I was having a wee of blood. That's how much it was. I was just like, oh God. And that was the turning point for me when I seen that much blood when I was like wiped my leg. So it went all through my mouth. I had a night pad on, like the thickest pad. Obviously my pants, my trousers. I also had tights on. So it soaked all through them, all down both my legs and all the way down to my kneecaps. And I went into my manager and I was like, I need to go to A&E. She was like, finally, praise the Lord, Jesus Christ. So I drove straight from my work to A&E, still covered in blood, by the way. Obviously, I'm not going to go home and get changed as well. It was just would have happening. So I was covered in blood. I know. But you are in A&E, or what do they expect? You're not going to be there because you're okay, are you? So anyway, I went to A&E and this is the most ridiculous thing, can I say, I've ever heard. But they were like, oh, because it's the bank holiday, we can't actually scan you, so we'll just do a blood test and then you can just go home. And I was like, oh, okay. If you're not worried, then I shouldn't be worried. You know what I mean? That was kind of my thought process. And I was like, oh, it's fine. If you're not bothered, it's fine. And then, so I went home that night, obviously the days went on, and throughout these days I was getting so many missed calls. I didn't know the number, literally missed call after missed call. I think like it was like 40 missed calls a day I was getting on my phone, and so I got runny nose and I was just ignoring them. What, I don't know why, I can't tell you why. I was just thought it would blow over, I thought it'd be fine. I just was ignoring the calls. Anyway, I ended up answering one of the calls because I was leaving a voicemail, so obviously I knew it was the hospital. And I went in for a scan that day. I mean, so I answered the phone call and they were like, you need to come in now. So I went in, had my scan on my belly, and they were like, what is this? Like, what is going on here? And I was like, what actually is going on here? Can someone let me know? And she was like, I just need to go and get my colleague to look at this. Like, I don't understand what this is. And I was like, okay. And then the other colleague came and she was like, I have never seen this ever. I don't know what this is. And I was like, oh no. Like, and it was at that point I didn't ever in my entire life, not once did it cross my mind that I thought it would be cancer. I don't know what I thought it would be, but I didn't think it would be that. I just thought, I don't know what I thought it would be. I didn't ever think that though. Even at this point, I didn't think it would be that. And I was just like, what? I was just like, what is it? And they were just like, we don't know. So then they got someone else to come in. Oh, such a palaver. And they were like, you need to go for surgery now. I was like, huh? Sorry? What? And they were like, you need to go for surgery now, like this second. Have you ate today? Because we are sending you for surgery now. And I was like, whoa. No, that's not happening. I'm petrified. I hate hospital. I know everyone does, but I hate with a passion hospital. I just can't deal with them. Like one time when my mum was ill, I walked in and literally just passed out for no reason. I just passed out. So yeah, I was like, no, that's not happening. I was by myself as well, so I was like, no, I'm petrified, that's not happening. And I was going on holiday the next day, and they were like, no, you don't understand, no, you need to go for surgery now. And I was like, no, I'm going on holiday, so... Anyway, that went on for hours. This conversation went on for hours and hours. I was in a hospital bed, like, because they were prepping me, getting me ready for surgery. They were like, we've got a surgeon, send him down. And I was like, no, I'm going home. Again, why? I don't know. I'm an idiot. went home, went on holiday. Biggest mistake of my entire life. At this point, bearing in mind, I still didn't know what it was. I still didn't know it was cancer. I still didn't know anything. They just said there was something in there they needed to take out and test. So at this point, again, I was still this little blow over. Went on holiday. I was so ill on holiday. But they said to me, when you come back off holiday, drive straight here. We'll have your bed ready with a surgeon and we will operate on you as soon as you get back off holiday. If you are refusing to have it done, we can't make you. Anyway, went on holiday, got really, I didn't think it would get any worse, but Jesus Christ, it got worse. I couldn't even stand up, literally nothing. So I went straight back into the hospital, had an operation, literally walked in, had to be carried because I couldn't walk. Went into the hospital. I didn't have to go into A&E. I was already, they was like, just coming straight back to this ward and we'll send you for surgery. So anyway, I went for surgery. I was in hospital for like 6 days after that, recovering. It was mainly recovering, not from the operation, but from the blood loss. So because I'd lost that much blood, I was having to have blood transfusions to keep me alive, basically, because they were like, this is how are you alive? You have got no blood in you, because obviously I'd lost that much. So yeah, I had to have one emergency blood transfusion when I got there, and then a couple the days after, because even after surgery I was still losing blood. So yeah, that happened. Again, still didn't know. I didn't know this was cancer. I didn't know what was going on. Obviously at this point you kind of feel like, oh my God, because they were like, we're sending what we took out off for testing, and I was like, could it? And I was like, no, that's not gonna happen. But even the nurse was like, don't worry about it, that's not gonna happen, like it is so unlikely that this will be that and that you'll end up having to have chemotherapy. Like, she was like, it's so unlikely. She's like, the percentage is ridiculously low. So at this point I was chilled out. I was like, right, you've took it out, I'm better, adios. And after I come out of hospital, I did feel quite a lot better. Obviously this was just because they'd put blood back in me, didn't realise till now. So again, I went on holiday again, love a holiday. And so after they'd sent me out, they was like, we're sending this off for testing and you still have to come back for blood tests twice a week to just monitor you. Obviously I went on holiday, so that didn't happen. So the day after I come back from holiday, I was like, right, better do that blood test. So I went into the hospital, had the blood test, and it was after that blood test, when I come back off holiday, I was at home and I got a call, like a random number, and obviously because of everything that was going on, I thought best answer, because I don't normally answer phone calls if I don't know the number. And she was like, it was a call from London, like a hospital in London, not my hospital here. And she was like, are you okay? Like, are you sat down? Are you prepared for this news? And I was like, yeah, right, what's wrong? What's happened? And she was like, you need to drive to London now. Bearing in mind it was like the evening, it was like 5 o'clock in the evening. My dad was on holiday. My brother and Henry were about to fly on holiday. So I was like, whoa. Obviously, how can your brain process this news? She was like, you need to drive down to London now, like this second, because we want to start chemotherapy tonight. And I was like, huh? I just couldn't process it. I was just like, I cannot drive to London tonight. That's not happening. I was like, my dad comes back off holiday next week, so I'll get him to drive me down next week. And she was like, well, you're not understanding what I'm saying here. You can't leave it, like, this cannot be left. They were like, we wanted to start it like yesterday, never mind tonight. They were like, your chemotherapy needs to start now. Like, literally just get in your car and drive here. Obviously it's like a 2.5 hour journey. So she was like, I was like, well, I won't get there till about 11:30 on the night. She was like, don't care, we'll still do your chemo no matter what time you get here in the night. I was just like, honestly, the shock to your system is just, you can't process it to understand the scariness and the severity. I remember just crying, obviously, and crying, which means I couldn't understand what she was saying even more. I was on the phone to her for ages. I was on the phone to her for about 40 minutes because I was just like, I don't understand what you're saying to me, and I don't want to come to London. Why can't they do it here? Why have I got to go all the way to London? It's because it was like a rare type of cancer that they only could do it in London. But obviously I was just like, why? Why have I got to go to London? What is going on? What is going to happen? Like, what? And she was like, you're going to be here for a week, minimum, so pack a bag for 7 nights, because that is the length of time you're going to be here for, like, the smallest amount of time you will be here, and then we'll try and get your chemo sent up to Birmingham, blah, blah, blah. And still at this point, the word cancer wasn't mentioned, obviously. I'm not stupid, I know what's going on, but I remember so obviously I had to go to London that night, drove down, the worst night of my entire life. Like, it was just horrible. The thoughts that go through your head, to be honest, actually, it's quite a blur now. I don't know what was going through my head. I was just petrified. And so my dad flew home from his holiday and come straight to London, and it was at that point my dad got there and said to the nurse, like, so it's cancer? And she looked at me like, and she was like, do you not understand what is actually going on? And we were like, we understand, but... So, and she was like, yeah, and it's really rare, really serious, and you need to be treated now. That's why we were saying come now. And I was just like, that was the first point that I knew, like, confirmation. And I remember we were just both just sat in silence, like, what? Like, what? And then obviously went through all my chemo, blah, 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 all the rest of the year, had the year from hell, and now we're here, and we are back, and we are better, and yeah, so that was the story of how I found out. Sorry if I've missed everything out, not that you will know anyway, but yeah, if you do have any questions, leave them down below, and I'll be happy to answer them. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye.